Dictionary, ripple. First of all, the meaning. Where can we find ripple? Let's imagine you go to a pond, like a small lake, and the surface of the water is completely still. It's like a mirror. So you get a little stone, a little rock, and you throw it in the middle of the water. And you see that, of course, first there will be a small splash, and then you are going to have a small wave, and then another one, and another one, and another one, okay? Those are ripples, okay? This is the most common, by far, the most common context we can find ripples, but let's imagine you go to one of those beaches, where the sand is dry, and you can see a lot of small undulations. Those would also be ripple. The etymology of ripple. It's a little bit controversial, but maybe it's the frequentative of the word rip. But for you to understand what I'm talking about, it's interesting to understand what is frequentative. Frequentative is something that existed in English. In the past, it doesn't anymore. So many words were made that way in English, and they have survived, of course, but nowadays this kind of device doesn't exist anymore. I'll make a video in the future just about frequentative in English. But the idea is you get a word and you add the suffix "o", and the meaning you get is the repetitive action of that word. Let me give you an example. Take a sniff, for example, is something like, so I have this sniff because somebody's baking a cake, all right? That's a sniff. What is sniffle? Sniffle is a lot of repetitive short sniffs. Let's imagine I have a cold, God forbid, right? Not COVID-19. And I'm like this. Okay, probably I should have more mucus in my nose, so it would be more representative of, the image would be stronger, but I think it would be a little bit disgusting. But I can say that I've got the sniffles, okay? So we have sniff, sniffles. Great. Now, rip, it's something like tear, I can get a piece of paper and I tear it, right? You can rip your pants. There is a nice episode of SpongeBob SquarePants. He's on the beach and he's trying to impress Cindy, and in the end he rips his pants and he makes a whole song about ripping his pants. Okay, that's not important. But important is rip can be like this, right? Like tear, something like this. So the etymology, right, not the meaning, the present meaning of ripple could be you have a lot of small cuts, just like when you have the ripples on the water or on the sand, you have these lots of very narrow cuts, okay? From ripple, getting out of the etymology now and going back to the meaning of ripple, you have ripple connected with other expressions, but always with this same idea of small undulations, and very frequently with this meaning of propagation. Okay, let me give you some examples. For example, I have here ripple of excitement, Let me read the sentence for you. I felt a ripple of excitement. Oh, Jesus, my computer. I felt a ripple of excitement at the thought of seeing Susan. So, imagine this excitement that starts at your core and then it spreads, So this is ripple of excitement. One more. Ripple of protest. Okay, what is ripple of protest? Is a low murmur or series of murmurs, like when you speak in a low complaining voice, complaining about or protesting something. People are just like, Okay, so this propagating, and look how nice it is. Usually you have this idea of something that is not going to have a lot of effects, you know, because they're not like waves, they're just ripples. Let me give you the second definition for ripple of protest: a small, understated, or ineffective action or series of actions in protest of something. For example, there have been a few ripples of protest in the streets following the passing of the controversial legislation. You know, people go there, they protest, yes, we are going to change, you know, our whole system. It's like 5 people go there, and then other people will post something on the internet, hashtag I don't want this. But it's just ripples of protest. You can feel, for example, a certain kind of emotion rippling through your body, but then I think it's very close to the ripple of excitement, right? She loved rippling through the lake on her road. Oh, this is another meaning I'm telling you in the future. But take a look at this next sentence. The news sent excitement rippling through the office, you know? And of course, this image I'm showing you again and again and again, we have a very interesting expression that is ripple effect, okay? But I'll start another video just to talk about ripple effect.